carve it, like I'm going back and forth like this. So I lift the pen and then I kind of scrub. So I carve it out rather than just like one line stroke. It's just I'm rubbing it in, so it's considered one line stroke, which is funny. This thing records all my line strokes, and it would be a lot more line strokes if I would tap down every time, but I do it. This is a line stroke right here. That's considered a whole line stroke. So it's not just line by line by line. It is that is a whole line stroke. So that's how it records it, and it's cool. I've been recording them since the beginning, and they're usually about 10,000 line strokes. So this one's pretty intricate, maybe probably be around 10,000. And here's how I draw characters. I have no clue what they're doing or how I'm going to draw them. I start blobbing out, and I'm like, what are they doing, huh? All right. I know this is coming from one, and it's got the red and the old gray in it, so I know it's some type of, it's either climate or going into the disaster of all these conspiracies and all that. All this, the red, if you've been following all through chapter 1, 2, and 3. 1 was more of just the climate, more of that disaster. And then as these disasters have been unfolding, red kind of represents these unfolding disasters, but definitely and primarily the climate. So I know they're tugging at this line. So this line that's coming up, obviously it's representing some type of communication, and it's usually like the grapevine wall represents, heard it through the grapevine. So that's what this whole thing is representative of. But it looks like they're all in their, these clouds, which is always represented thought bubbles, or thoughts, and like how we pass on the information. So these brown clouds, I don't think I've ever had any light brown clouds in all 240 of these. This one is actually vine number 241 or 42. I work at two at a time, so I know it's either VN 141 or 142. But it is all marked. All right, you guys, what are you doing? Let's see. Oh, you know what? They're in the same. And I've not been forking those, so maybe that's coming through here. I like it. Interesting. Is the infinite going back and forth. The infinite chasm. They looking like they're in agreement and not fighting. See, I thought they were fighting in their own little cloud. Thinking this is representing the downplay of the climate crisis, and that comes from the side of the deep adaptation people and all of that. Like their scientists are downplaying it, and I mean there's truth to both sides for sure. And then the other one is all this anxiety that the young kids and young people, more so than the older crowd, are worried about climate change and just assume that it's going to be just this horrible thing because, that's just how it is. They've been raised like that climate's going to get them. And, as a climate activist, more in the past, I'm not an activist at all. It's a hard word to define yourself as, but, I marched in the streets for climate. I was in the 300,000 people in New York City. I actually had Al Gore. He is a co-creator of one of these pieces, which means I used to do it more. I haven't done it since the pandemic, but I would bring a blank one of these and allow certain people to draw their lines, and wherever they drew it, I would document that, and then there was a rule: you couldn't draw over someone else's line. You couldn't cross someone else's line or your own. So it has to be a line, but it can be continuous. Some people draw around everything and want to take up as much space as possible. Some people just want to draw a little bit. It was interesting to see how different everybody drew their line. And yeah, I wasn't always happy when, someone would just take up the whole canvas and outline it, and and my rule wasn't, I wasn't able to say, you want to do it? Well, I did say you want to do it again. That was their choice, but whatever they drew, I had to do. And there's one that, it looks like it's framed because, two actually, they're framed. And it's because somebody wanted to draw the whole, put their drawing on the whole thing. Oh, I see what's happening there. So you guys don't have hands. Uh-huh. If you've ever used Procreate, or if you ever have not, I recommend it. It's awesome. I've been using it. This is the only app I have used in this entire project, and I've been working on it for 10 years and how many months? Oh, who's counting? Well, I do have a counter in days. 6,000 days. Oh, look at this. I never do that. See how it crosses there and it crosses there? I always do it. Oh, I didn't have to do that. Crazy. I like to always crisscross the pattern. And it's crazy. That's when I've got a lot of DNA that has popped up in here. And every time I cross it like that, see, now it looks like DNA. I'm like, oh, some DNA. These two must be related. Which is funny on a personal note. Oh, I can't say. Because I have a present, but I forgot I'm streaming live. I might give up a gift. I don't want to do that. Although I didn't tell anyone I'm doing live. I'm sure no one's watching, but I hope you guys can watch later. And I hope it's working. Like I said, I've had some issues. I'd start, and then one time it told me it stopped recording, but it should be going live to YouTube. I'm using Streamlabs. All right, so, that's them. What were they before? That was it. So before we touch that today, it was that. And then it's morphed into that. So, very interesting piece, because they've entered the red. The stream of communication has gone through all of this. Now, I do have to draw another character here. I do. I mean, Whew, these are due tomorrow. It always takes me hours and hours at the end. All right, what's he doing? I don't know. I feel like he's kind of in the middle. I don't know. This is what I do. Let's see. You know what? Wait, hold on. Let me do another layer just in case I totally mess up. But I usually, I don't think I ever do. It's just I just keep drawing over it. But I like to do layers every once in a while, and just in case I totally mess something up or something doesn't feel right. Because I draw this as as the flow continues. So it's more about the flow. That's why they call me the H2O. All right. One dude was pointing. All right, you're pointing. Looks like he's about to point, but where are you pointing, dude? I don't know. Pointing to no one. Oh, he's not pointing. Watch this. See, I see that coming in. Because it has to go into the tree. So thankfully he's not pointing. We don't like the pointing. That's more in the political stuff, the blame game, and stuff. I try not to get too political with these, but they're current events, and that's the world we live in, and it is nightmare. I mean, don't want to talk about it, do we? We will. We'll talk about that. But not on this one. This one, I haven't done too much and many climate ones through chapter 3, because it was just getting back into it. It was all AI and everything. AI towards the end, and then the beginning was the insurrection too. So it's been a crazy chapter 3. If no one's seen chapter 3 yet, definitely go through those. So each one of these do have a story to them. Oh, I like this. See, I like this flow. Watch this. Kind of flows there into his hand and then back down. So I know this is a small or a slow process, boring, and it's quiet right now. I usually do not do this quiet. That's why I don't do it as much as I want to and I should for you guys, because I'm actually researching while I'm drawing these, and that's how they come alive. As I'm drawing them, I'm like, what does this one mean? As we go through the month, whatever is being, what I'm researching and what's going on in current events is what it is. That's why even if I wanted to, I couldn't just knock out 10 of these in a month and then only release 2 every month. I have to make these on the fly during the month. I say have to. I get to. I mean, it is a lot of work, but I still feel privileged to be able to do it. And it goes, I could draw for 5 hours, and as you see, it's not like I'm looking at the image all the time, so I'm able to zone out and listen and try to take in what's going on all sides. And I know people say, oh, I see, I know a friend, or I know what's going on in the world, and I mean, none of us do. But I look at all I look at things biased and all that, and everybody wants to. I want to. Um, and I do feel, though, that I'm privileged to have a little more time to dig deeper. I mean, a lot of people don't have the time I have. And it is, I try to make sure I spend that time wisely. So, yeah. All right. Whoops. If you tap and hold, it picks the color. So sometimes it doesn't get it and you draw the wrong color. But that's what's great about this program. I can switch in between colors, just tap, hold, white. And I don't use any tools to make even straight lines. I make, you know how I make straight lines? Watch this. If I wanted to make a building, actually, I think I got some buildings that, I don't know what's happening here. It's very dilapidated, but, oh. So let's say I wanted this to be a building, right? In order to do that, I would just come in here, put a little top on it, maybe make it 2 stories. And then I would just go blah, 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 blah. Like, I'd do a little bit. Oh, no, that's pretty much how I would do it. And then I come back in here, and I just... And I'm not going to... Well, I might even keep this, but... Just to show you. So I'll even those lines out. And what's fun is you can... When you have them all up, you can kind of make one smaller. And then I'll get something much neater than this, but this is kind of how. And then here's the windows. Ha-ha! I'll just take those off. And then if I wanted to make it look like it was actually a different perspective, I would do the same thing. I'll just do a big block, huh? And then I would get the lines in. Like that. And then by those other lines, just take that. And now, you got some... That's pretty bad. I would be coming in here and cleaning all that up, which I might be. I might keep that. I don't know if I want... No, I don't want a city there. That's off in the distance. So, I'm going to keep whatever is crazy over here. It does not look good. And then, obviously, we got the smoke coming up. So, I'm just twisting my wrist. Kind of makes a different cloud every time. I just constantly twist it. Almost like a, what do you call those? Pottery spinners. That's why it feels like I kind of carve. See, I'm carving around it. I'm twisting my wrist. I'm just scooping. And yeah, I was saying, so sometimes I got to pay attention to what's being drawn, but not often. It comes alive and it tells me what it is as I'm cleaning it. Like I'll be cleaning it and all of a sudden, oh, I see a finger pointing. So this might be like not buildings, but and not severed heads. Those guys up there are the first real heads that were off. So that means something. Like usually I have they're like that. But yeah, it's interesting. They are something. They are something. Where's the guy I just drew? Right here. So he just popped on. And as you saw, I just kind of blotted it and then carved him out. And, thinking he was pointing at someone, which he wasn't. Now, I don't know if if I had a lighter, I only work with the top cut. Well, they're all kind of the same, but if you look at the very top, this is the only colors I use. So I only have 2 browns. And typically I add a new color each chapter. I'm adding this old gray. That gray is only in chapter 1. So instead of adding another color, see, that ain't good. That's cool, but that just kills the visual. No. Usually I like to do that. And that shows another thing. I don't use transparencies, so if I wanted this to look transparent, I've got that darker brown right there. So bam, now it looks transparent. So I'll do that a lot when they're going in between different things. And don't need to this time. This is what I like when I'm just like, all right, there's all these. I don't know if I'm going to give him a shine or one of these shines. I want it to stand out too much. I think I like the shine, just the regular shine, right? Or none. Cool thing is, I'll come back and do this over and over. Oh, now see, he's got that's his hand. All right. Oh, we got all this too. So what I have left is that little city down there in the red that we were just at. Luckily, it doesn't look like it should be a city, because if I had to make a city, it does take a while making those windows and all that. But that is not what will stop me. If it's supposed to be a city, it will be. And you guys will see on Thursday. If it's a city or it's city ruins, it looks like. Which I'm not sure if anything like that happened in the news for this month. It's crazy. The month where, what month was that? When Hawaii caught fire. I was making one, and there was fire on top and water on the bottom. And it represented the fire and the massive hurricanes that were devastated that month. And I didn't know till the end, because it was towards the end of the month. And sure enough, it was a fire and water. So, I called it Surf, Wind, and Fire. Surf, Wind, and Fire. Yes. That is the name of it. So definitely check that one out too. And each of these artworks is its own trading card. Each connects to the other ones. They all fit in a box, like a nesting, what are those, nesting dolls? And the box itself is actually the artwork as well. So it's, if you're interested in this work, I appreciate the support, and you will enjoy the support because it's cool. It is. It's the side chapters as well. So it's the 600 or 320 pieces make up the 4 sides of the cube, and these are the first 2 on the last side, chapter 4. And that'll take us 2027 May is when this chapter ends. So it does take us through this next presidency and all that. So we'll see how all that goes. This chapter, so last chapter, right at the pandemic and all these new revolutions and AI tech and metaverse and all that we've gone through, it was actually called the Revolution. And this one is called the Rebuild. So, to be able to call the Revolution, I had no clue what that meant. So same thing with this. Rebuild sounds great. Rebuild. But how are we rebuilding? And I think it's looking more like we are rebuilding in a tech-driven world. But if you look at chapter 4, I've got it posted. I draw a head in Photoshop. I'll just kind of feel the flow of that. So these images come out as well there. And there's a huge skull. Huge. At the very top of chapter 4. Which is not a good sign because I assume skull represents death. But there is some good news. So there's a purple lining. There's purple around it. There's also a lot of fighting and these little multicolor spheres that are going around it. So those are us, and there's a lot of chaos for sure around the skull, and the skull's up towards the top, and it covers months. I mean, it's huge. It'll cover more than months because I don't just draw the ones next to each other. I go around the chapter. So it's going to be this slow death, but I'm hoping it's a slow death of our current consciousness as we realize we need to be more connected. And if that's the case, that's a good skull. And there is a lot of purple around it. So purple is enlightenment. We want to get the more purple in here, the better. If you look back, there's not much. There are some good spouts of purple and some showing ideas. You'll see the red. The yellow is yoke. So either it's usually broken ideas that's pouring down on top of all this other stuff, and that is definitely the case in where we are now. So a lot of eggs being broken, a lot of testing going on. Oh, come on. and yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of rebuild we're in. But that's what chapter 4 is. Chapter 4 is the rebuild from January 2024 to May 2027. And you're looking at the first vine in that chapter, which is growing from chapter 1. So chapter 1 spawned chapter 2 to the right of it, then chapter 3 to the right of that, and then chapter 4 to the right of that, but it also closes the square or the cube. So it's this one is being drawn off of chapter 1, and then the other one I draw, so there's 2 every month. That one's being drawn off chapter 3. So each side is actually being drawn from. So it's kind of like closing in to the center. And it's never exactly. It's just kind of whichever I feel is next to be drawn, as long as it can't touch the one next to it. Like there can't. They grow from each other, so there has to be. Like I can't draw one right next to the other one at the same time on the same month. Now the next month I can once it has to be completed. But usually that doesn't happen because I have 4 in the chamber while I'm drawing. So I have the 2 that I'm working on constantly that month, and then 2 more that I kind of just go to and clean up and go back to, because life isn't everything in a month. So that kind of builds those 2. I rarely touch those. Like I'll grab them at the beginning, because actually towards the end I am doing this constantly, hours and hours. On the final days, I always think it's done, and I'm like, all right, it's done. And oh shit, more. Because if you think about it, every line stroke I have to zoom in, and if it's something like this, I just have one side, but most of them have 2 sides, so I have to do the black, like I obviously did right here. Got the black working, but I come in and clean up the white. So a line that you see isn't just a drawn line, it is a carved out section almost. And of course I got to do it on this other side too. But let me clean this up a little. And then I feel the flow with that. So I know where it's going to hit on the other side, even if I can't see it, because I'm zoomed in. And if you are wondering why I'm zoomed in, if you don't know, I have star guards, so I can't see. I have no central vision. So like when I'm doing this, I can see a line, I can see a flow, just like if you're looking at an image and there's a door in the way, or in the middle of the image, you kind of, know where the flow is going, and that makes it easy for me to draw, and then that makes it how I can draw. Like if I was drawing that, I couldn't see where to go. But here I'm like, all right, so I got a flow, and it does help me look back. I mean, it's not like I can't see it. I can look around and try to find it. But I kind of know, like, all right, this flow, see, this flow needs to come more there, and this needs to come more here. And then what I do is I recarve it out. And a lot of times it takes me a little while to go back and forth. Oops. Make that a little thicker. A little thicker on that end too. That helps with the illusion too. If it's farther away, but see, I want it to kind of curve down a little, and I'll do that a lot too. I'll have to carve into that, and then carve again, because I do not, like I said, I don't use any filters or masks or anything like that. This is old school. Well, not even drawing, I guess. It's carving. I don't know. Does anyone else carve like this? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. No, seriously though. I don't know if it's I don't know anyone else who draws like this. There's got to be somebody. If there is, let me know. All right. So let's carve this around. I think there. See, look. I'm like, oh, it doesn't go there. But then I can see it. I can see it close up. So I'll carve that off. So as you see, two sides. I guess I'll scoop that around too. This is bugging me over here. I can see it. I can see things out of the corner of my eye, and it just doesn't. As long as it's flowing, Like I can tell any type of little flow. I'm like, like this, it's too big there. I don't hate that. I sometimes don't mind that. I kind of like that look. Like there's something off. But, you know, I could do a little bit of red right here. And then it makes this tree limb a lot thinner. I don't know. I don't really like that. Yeah, I think it can just get a little more angled up there. That helps a little. Because, yeah, I think because it gets so much thicker up here. But I can fix that too, because I don't like it that thick up here. So I don't see what's coming to the left, but I don't know, it always seems to just work out. Make sure I'm getting that right red. Oh yeah, see, it feels much better. That curve is there. It's all about the flow. Much better flow. Even here, just a little more flow. Oop, I saw that. Yeah. Ooh, that's not too skinny. We'll take a peek in a second. No, much better. So, here's an example. So we've got that now, and that's what it was. So just going in and carving it, it's so satisfying. So, yeah, that's how I draw. And create things that kind of come out of the blue, like these characters. I can't wait to understand what they are saying. Like I said, I kind of do. From actually what I've been reading finally this morning, and it's some part of that, but it needs to be finalized by tomorrow. Well, I got to write it tomorrow, get these all posted, which is take some time. I'll take this into Photoshop, and then I'll put it next to the one the one from 10 years ago, because it was Strife. So there was one from chapter 1. So this goes on the right-hand side. And then the other one I'm working on, here, I'll show it to you. See, here's the 4 that are being worked on. So these right 2, this is one. This is one, and then the other one's 241, and the other one's 242. And this is a fun one. But I got a lot to clean up on this guy too. And I'll leave this one a secret, but it's got to do with AI, like what in the area it's in right now, but it's actually more about bioelectricity, regeneration, all that, which goes well with the rebuild. But that's it. So, talk with you all soon. Thanks for listening.